Man, that's weird.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up, guys? We got to talk about a few things here, okay? I just did this as a video, as a YouTube short, a TikTok, whatever, reel. But I feel like we need to talk about this further because, yes, I said a few things right there in my YouTube short. Go check it out. But we're going to circle back on a couple things because I feel like we need to dive into this situation a little bit more, okay? As we already know, Charlie Kirk lost his life in a very tragic way. His wife, the widow, okay, Erika Kirk, has basically taken over all of Turning Point USA. She is the face of Turning Point USA, the voice of Charlie Kirk's show, and all that stuff, okay? And of course, let's not forget, she is very close to President Trump and the Trump administration. Let's be real, okay? She has basically slid over a seat over and took over Charlie Kirk's seat. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about that. You know, I know that people have been running amok with their theories and their thoughts about all that and then some. We're just going to table that for a little while, okay? The internet has lost their doggone mind. And I understand. I can see why they're freaking out. For example, people are sitting here going, what's up? What's going on? What's going on with Vice President J.D. Vance embracing Erika Kirk? The way that they embrace is weird, yo. It's a little weird, okay? As, you know, if you are a person that is taken, all right, spoken for, you got a relationship, you are in a monogamous relationship with somebody, not like something that's open or nothing, all right? Whether you are married or you are going steady with somebody. Yes, that's an old school word. But whether or not you are steady or married with somebody, hugging another person that is not your spouse or partner like this is very weird, okay? I said it in my short, okay? Like, you know, when you're hugging somebody and they ain't your girl, fellas, I'm just talking to the fellas for a second, okay? When you're talking and saying hello to somebody that you know, all right? And sure, you might be close to them to a certain extent, and they happen to be a member of the opposite sex, and they are not your wife or your partner. Usually you're doing the hug with the butt out. You know what I mean? You're doing the lean and you're like, hi, or it's the side hug. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing? What's up? What's good? You know, those are kosher moves. You don't see this. Okay? Unless the fella's being hugged by his own mama. Okay? Or a sister. And in fact, when you're getting hugged by your sister like this, you at a funeral. Okay? Or you gave them a whole bunch of monies and they're like, oh my God, I can finally pay rent and feed my kids. Thank you, big brother. Big old embrace, right? You just saved the day, right? You're not hugging your own sister this way. Maybe your mama, but your sister, you're hugging because you just lost somebody you love. It's funeral time. You feel me? So when you see something like this is weird, but the internet is reacting to this big time. Everybody's going, oh, snap. Man, I saw a meme. I wish I could find it. I should have found it before I went live. But there's a meme where people are like, somebody said, wait for it. In 2028, he will be divorced from Usha and be married to Erika Kirk just in time for him to run for the president slot in 2028. I mean, that is absolutely insane. The fact that people are even entertaining this stuff in their minds, okay? Yes, I'm going to say right off the bat, okay? The embrace is weird. It is weird. I've already said it. The embrace is mother-loving weird. I would not even hug. No. My life would be over if I hugged somebody that was not my partner. You see what I'm saying? I already know it. I already know. You know what I mean? And I can see it already. I can see my future after I hugged the likes of any person like J.D. Vance did with Erika Kirk. You want to know what that future looks like? Dark. It's black. It's completely black. Why? Because I'm in a coffin 6 feet under and me dead. You see what I'm saying? So this is some very interesting stuff here. All right. There's a few things that we got to talk about here before we jump into this embrace. Okay. First and foremost, J.D. Vance has been saying some things that people have been feeling some type of way about. Because, again, before he even met his wife, his beautiful, talented, intelligent wife, Usha, he claims to have been atheist, right? And then later on in 2018, that's when he found Christ, which I feel is a little bit choreographed, but that's just me. All right. Suddenly he is about God and Christ at that particular time. And then guess what? A few years later, he becomes the vice president of the United States. I'm just saying the timing's a little bit interesting. For a long time, he's atheist or agnostic, and suddenly he finds Christ. It's just very interesting. But nonetheless, that is just my thoughts on that. All right. But here it is. He says that he found Christ and that his wife is Hindu. So they have an interfaith relationship on top of being an interracial relationship because she is Indian. Now, here's the thing. Love who you love. That's just what I believe. Okay. Live your life. If you find somebody, love them till you can't love them no more. Okay. Ride that love till the wheels fall off. That's just what I think. As long as it's two people consensually loving each other and being with each other, then so be it. Okay. Let the world keep on passing by. Enjoy yourself because you only have one life to live. Okay. Real talk. Like, that's the title of, isn't that the title of a soap opera? But anyway, you get what I'm saying, okay? We only have one life. Share it with the one that you love, okay? That's basically it. That's what I think on that, okay? But here it is. There's been a lot of pushback on the far right, asking a lot of questions to JD Vance because he is now a devout Christian. His wife is not Christian, and let's not forget, she is also Indian. She is not white. He is in an interracial relationship. So they've been pushing and pressing a lot of questions quite a bit. And then there was this moment, okay, while he was on this tour, talking with his people and all that. And he went up and he said this. First off, let me show you what this tweet says, okay? JD Vance slams critics for anti-Christian bigotry. So Vance said, he hopes his wife, he said this live on a microphone in front of, as he said, 10,000 of his closest friends. He says he hopes that his wife is moved to convert to Christianity, okay? To leave her religion that she grew up with to go over and be Christian, right? And a lot of people felt some type of way about that because they were like, well, outside of the people that would want her to convert to Christianity. Like I said, however their relationship is set up, that's how it's set up. And they should just live their life, right? If he's Christian and she's Hindu, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it go. And let's keep it moving, okay? And he explains how they made the decision to have their kids be raised Christian rather than be raised Hindu. He says it in here, but he also says, I hope she changes her mind and comes on over here to the good side of the force. It is very interesting. I get what he's trying to say here, but I can understand why people are accusing him of trying to throw her and her religion under the bus. Okay, let's take a look at this.
Everybody has to come to their own arrangement here. The way that we've come to our arrangement is she's my best friend. We talk to each other about this stuff. So we've decided to raise our kids Christian. Our two oldest kids who go to school, they go to a Christian school. Our 8-year-old did his first communion about a year ago. That's the way that we have come to our arrangement.
And let me just say this. There's nothing wrong with that. If they have that kind of arrangement and that kind of understanding, bet, cool, fine. Do your thing. Do you, boo-boo? Because there's a lot of interfaith relationships out there, okay? Plenty of them that are literally, it's not as extreme as you may think, right? It could just be like Catholic and Christian, right? And it's like, well, I think we should go the more Christian route rather than the Catholic route. And you have that discussion, okay? Some are just as stark as Catholic and Jewish. That does exist. There are interfaith relationships like that. And then you go, okay, do we raise our children Jewish within the Jewish faith, or do we raise our children in the Christian faith? That's a conversation that a lot of people are having. Shoot, there are people as simple as agnostic or atheist and Christian. And they're still having that conversation with the person that they love, and they make the decision on whether or not they're going to raise their child within faith or without that religion, without that faith, right? That is how it all happens in a lot of homes. To this day, it's not just JD and Usha. There are plenty of people that have that same issue and have that same discussion, okay? And then they do what they need to do. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with anything that he says in this part here. It's later that seems a little sus, a little weird, you know? Let's take a listen.
Thank you. My 8-year-old was also very proud of his first communion. Thank you, guys. I'll tell him that Ole Miss wishes him the best. But I think everybody has to have this own conversation when you're in a marriage. I mean, it's true for friends of mine who are in Protestant and Catholic marriages, friends of mine who are in, atheist and Christian marriages. You just got to talk to the only advice I can give is you just got to talk to the person that God has put you with, and you've got to make those decisions as a family unit. For us, it works out. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you love. Again, one of the most important Christian principles is that you respect free will. Usha's closer to the priest who baptized me than maybe I am. They talk about this stuff. My attitude is you figure this stuff out as a family, and you trust in God to have a plan, and you try to follow it as best as you can. And that.
Now here it is. Let me just say this again. All right. However you want to have, whatever you do behind closed doors within your family, and how you want to raise your family within faith or without faith, that's on you. That's what I truly think. I think that we're all allowed to make our own decisions on how we want to raise our children, right? And of course, if your partner decides to convert into your religion, then that's a beautiful thing. But that's a discussion that you need to have. Now, my issue with that part is that he's literally saying that in front of 10,000 people. And I can see why some people are feeling some type of way about it, because they're feeling like, damn, maybe that would have been nice to have had that conversation between you and me, not in front of 10,000 people. In fact, millions of people. Let's be real, because there's going to be millions of people reacting to that video. I get where he's coming from. Let me just say that really quick. I do get where he's coming from. I do think that where he's coming from is a genuine place, but I think it was the wrong place and the wrong time to get onto the microphone and say what he said there, right? Now there's going to be pressure on Usha on what she's going to do next, right? Will she convert? That kind of thing. You also got to remember, he's gunning. He's literally gunning for 2028. That's clear. That is very clear that he's gunning for 2028, okay? Unless, President Trump runs a third term, but he ain't playing. So right now, all the people that are on the far right are looking at him hard. And they're asking him all the questions, because he is in an interracial relationship. He's in an interfaith relationship as well, which obviously stirs a lot of pots and turns a lot of heads and sparks up a lot of questions. But now we have this going on, which is insane as well, okay? This whole thing that's wrong. Sorry. No, this has been a photo that people have been sharing. It just popped up recently. Diggity damn, this is insane, okay? The people out here are diabolical. Let me just say that. The people here are diabolical, and they're already putting out memes about all this, okay? But it's really about the embrace seen and heard and conversated about around the freaking world.
Bless.
And I do want to share that with you guys first before we go into this video. And again, like I said, you already saw it in the article, okay? But real talk, damn, okay? Damn. This is insane. I'm telling you right now, it's insane, because no person in a relationship is going to. I get it that maybe this is how she hugs people. This is how she embraces people. It's totally innocent. Sure, I'm sure it's totally innocent. But to the court of public opinion, to everybody that's already watching every move she makes, seriously, they're looking at this and it's sparking rumors solely because of an embrace. The hug is very interesting. It is interesting. Do I think he's a bad guy for hugging her that way? No, I wouldn't say that. But it is sparking up a lot of questions. And I'm already telling you guys, none of us fellas would be alive to this day if we were embracing another woman like that in front or anywhere near the vicinity of our partners. Oh, and let's not forget, this is all on camera. This is all getting depicted and seen all over. Every angle is being caught on camera of this hug. It's not great. But she also said this in here too. She said, oh, he has a lot of traits like my husband. It's just, like I said, it's just one thing added to another that obviously sparks up a lot of, looksy-loos in this direction. Like, the word? She just said, what? What's really going on? Now, I get it. I think people are really entertaining their minds way too much, and some people just need to calm the F down. But at the same time, this is what the internet is reacting to right now, and it's crazy.
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do.
And now everybody's like, oh, you know what I mean? Everyone's reacting to that. And I'm like, I think people are really stretching. It's the hug. It's just the hug for me that just looks sauce as hell. It's the hug for me, dog, that looks sus as hell. Outside of that, okay. So she said there's similarities between him and Charlie Kirk. Were they not friends? Were they not good friends, apparently? So, okay. Chill, right?
And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight. He's an amazing man. So please help me welcome to the stage Vice President JD Vance.
Okay. And then he shows up and he does his thing and he starts talking and speaking and doing his thing. Okay. But again, like I said, I get people reacting, the guttural reaction that people are having with that embrace is pretty insane. It is wild. I'm telling you right now, no normal guy out here, okay? You're not the vice president of the free world. You're just a regular ass dude, married or in a committed monogamous relationship with another person. You go up to another person and embrace them that is not your partner? I wouldn't be surprised if you have a long conversation on the ride home. So again, when you see stuff like this, it's like, okay, cool. All right. And yeah, I get it. This could be the way she shows love. She's an embracer. Like I said again, maybe it was a Christian hug. You know what I mean? Maybe it was just that Christian, that embracing Christian hug. Like we are one with Christ, but it's like, no, we could still be one with Christ with a high five, a dap, a handshake, or a side hug. You know what I'm saying? Or the hug with the butt out. You see what I'm saying? There's easy ways to do this without it coming off where people think that something romantical is going on. You understand what I'm saying? It's very easy to go, we are together, but not together in that way, you dirty scallywags, with your minds in the gutter. Minds are in the gutter now when you have body to body, when you got body to pelvis, body to body, where it looks like they're about to procreate. That's insane. You know what I mean? It's insane. Like I said before, I understand why people are reacting to the embrace. Do I think that JD Vance is going to run off with Erika Kirk. Hell to the no, hell no. But it is a suspect hug for sure. But what are your thoughts here, guys? Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button. I'm telling you right now, like I said, my future be bleak, though. If I hug, man, ladies, fellas, ladies, both of y'all, you understand, ladies, if you hugged your man, another man like that, oh my God, you would lose your mind, like you would lose your life. Real talk. Okay? Future would be bleak. It would be dark. You'd be underground. Gone. Okay? Fellas already know we would all be out somewhere in a shallow grave, gone. In the arms of an angel, gone, y'all. So again, I feel like there's an etiquette, and it definitely pushed the envelope, stepped over the line as far as that etiquette goes. But like I said, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button, crush that subscribe button, and we'll be talking here very, very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.